afternoon. Welcome to your popular current affairs program, 60 Minutes Nigeria. My name is Ehosa Agbola. On today's edition, we will be taking a look at Saturday's election, the 2019 election. This time around, it is the Houses of Assembly and State Governorship election. Well, in Edo State, we will witness only the House of Assembly election because the governorship election will be taking place in other states, not in Edo State. To join me do the analysis today, to dissect the issues today, I have with me a very notable politician, Jimmy Osagede, Pastor Jimmy Osagede. Nice to have you on the program.
Thank you so much.
I also have with me a legal practitioner and, of course, a law lecturer at the HOD, Business Law, University of Benin, Dr. Joe Bodio. Nice to have you on the program.
Good afternoon, good afternoon, viewers at home.
Okay. Now, we know that a lot cropped up after the 2019 Presidential and National Assembly election, where, of course, we saw upsets. For instance, the Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki, will not be returning to the 9th Senate. That's one of the greatest upsets. Akpabio, Godswill Akpabio, a former governor of Akwa Ibom, will not be returning to the Senate. Upsets. And we've also seen so many governors moving to the Senate. That is for the National Assembly. And of course, President Buhari won the 2019 presidential election, which the PDP presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar, only yesterday got the ruling of the court for both the PDP and for the presidential candidate of the PDP to inspect the materials used during the 2019 election. Now, the import of that is that Atiku Abubakar has not accepted the outcome of the 2019 presidential election. He has actually rejected it, and he has decided to challenge it in court. He has approached the tribunal. That's for that. So a lot of issues have cropped up. But this Saturday, Nigerians will go to the polls again to vote for governors in states where governorship election will be taking place. And of course, all the states will witness the House of Assembly election. So it promises to be really, really exciting and intriguing. Just joining us is a very notable politician as well, Bajumo Omo Ogeva. Nice to have you with us today.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so the stage is set. Now, how do we overcome the skirmishes, the allegations, counter-allegations, problems that cropped up, security issues that cropped up during the presidential election, the National Assembly election? How do we avoid all of these, especially on Saturday? We'll start with Dr. Joe Bodio.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes.
First and foremost, I want to greet Nigerians and thank us all for a successful presidential election.
Okay.
This thank God we are all still at one. Now, the elections for Saturday is epoch-making too. It should not be downplayed because it's going to be the grassroots election, as it were, save for the local government elections. So it's very important too. I hope that voter apathy will not set in because the big one is over. We all go to sleep. No. This one is very, very important and should be so treated. Now, with regards to preparations, I think that the few mistakes that were made during the last election and the observations made and correctional issues raised, I believe that the INEC must have taken note of all those issues.
Okay.
And they may, I'm not privy to what they have done, but I believe they have taken steps to correct such errors. For example, I know that the issue of the card reader, that the INEC National Commissioner made it clear yesterday, it is mandatory for this election now. There's no discretion as to whether you use it or not. The only discretion that you have to postpone to the next day, which is the Sunday, to continue if for any reason a polling unit cannot have its card reader functional for election.
Yeah.
So the idea of just having a cash blank for people to go by manual accreditation is no longer possible. So I think that a lot of issues will be resolved. And then in terms of security, there will be security, but there will not be over police this time around, or over hype, because, you know, the presidential election was the first election. It's globally conducted. This one is more sectarian, if you may use that word. Some states may not witness governorship, like Edo State, for example. The tension will also be less in Edo State where we don't have governorship, and some states where they have both, it will be higher. So the attention will now be focused, you know, serrating, so that you don't have a cluster of security persons in one state and other states are under, some are under police, others are under police. So I think by and large, the electorate should also feel free to come out. The violence that we witnessed, I'm sure we all learned our lessons in Rivers and other states. I don't think persons are willing to do that anymore, because people were arrested from the grapevine, and some will face persecution too. Those who compromised the election too are facing their own music somewhere. So I think by and large, we've learned from the last election. Yes, and so moving forward, we expect an improved performance. No more excuses this time around. Okay.
Jimmy, Pastor Jimmy Osagede, yes, you saw some issues that cropped up that almost marred the Presidential National Assembly election. But the security agencies have promised us, the IG has deployed Deputy Inspector Generals, Assistant Inspector General of Police, the State Police Commissioner has also assured of adequate security with sister agency security outfits, you know. So, how do you think we can avoid the problems that cropped up in the last presidential election?
Well, thank you very much. First, let me applaud the electorate for coming out en masse to vote. And as you are aware, there have been upsets here and there. I believe what happened the last election was a revolt at the ballot box. You know, it shows that you don't take the people for granted. I just hope that we'll get to a point where, you know, you get to a public office as a politician. You are not performing. You don't even need to seek a re-election. It's better to pack your bag and baggages, because the people are better enlightened now. Well, let me zero in on the particular question you asked about, you know, all those chemistries that happen. You see, the legal framework is there for the society to be coherent. But unfortunately, we have so many deviants, people who want to stick to office by all means, as if it's a do-or-die affair. I believe that there are some, you know, politicians who probably have written, you know, that office in their will to be inherited by their kings, and, you know, it's unfortunate. Those issues that arose, thank God for Edo State. In Benin City, you know, to be specific, it was very, very peaceful, apart from one or two incidents. You know, when people are given the opportunity to go to the polls and vote out of their own volition, even the president, he mentioned it on several occasions that people should vote their conscience. So allow the people.
He did that in Imo.
Yes.
He did that in Ogun.
Yes. So allow the people to vote their conscience. And then you wait for the result. So I believe very strongly that the security operatives, I think they got a pass mark in the last election. They should do more, because I cannot imagine a situation where somebody goes to the police station, steals the ballot. But there was an incident in Okoro, in Benin City, in Ward 9, where somebody stole and burnt a ballot, but the person is still walking free on the street, you know. So this is why we are advocating that every public office, every security operative, everybody who is accountable to the public should get to the pinnacle or the apex of the career by merit. So if it's on merit, then you can discharge your duties and responsibilities. So a situation where you arrest somebody and you want to do the right thing and you get a phone call, the person is let loose. But I think by and large, we are evolving to a position where we know that now the electorate, you know, they know the right thing to do. So if you have been there and, you know, people don't see you until it's another election time, you know, they will vote against you at the ballot box. So I believe very strongly that this forthcoming election should not be taken lightly at all. You know, people should come out, because the immediate representative of the people at the House of Assembly are going to be elected. So if you have somebody who has been there for some time and you are not happy, or you want him to, you come and take your decisions.
Yes.
So I encourage the people to come out and vote in the next election.
Thank you, Pastor Jimmy. Let's get the thought of Bajumo Omorogiva. Yes, how do we avoid the pitfalls?
Thank you very much.
Okay.
First of all, we appeal to the people to come out and vote their conscience,
okay,
vote their hope, and not their fear. The election of the House of Assembly, that is one we do in Edo State. Another state, they are doing the one for governorship too. But in Edo State, or where they are doing governorship, let people come out and vote for the people that they believe will do the job, get the job done. And we use this opportunity to appeal to the INEC that when the people vote their conscience, let their votes count. That's the biggest fear. I heard some people saying they will not vote this House of Assembly because they don't want to vote, saying all day in the sun and vote, and their vote is not counted, they are being manipulated. Whether it's manipulated or not, a lot of people believe that is what is happening. So we have to give the people, show the people that when they vote, their vote is going to count. So that people come out and actually vote, and let them vote for their leaders. And I think that is it. And we plead to the law enforcement. We plead to the law enforcement to do their job, not supporting any particular party. That is, when you have law enforcement that is supposed to enforce the law, now being politicized, that is where the problem is. Please, we appeal to everybody. Let this election of House of Assembly and governorship, let it be peaceful. Okay. And when it's finished, let the INEC do the right thing. Okay. That's our prayer.
Okay. Now, Dr. Joe, now we witness turnout, large number of voters actually participated in the 2019 Presidential National Assembly election. Yes. So now in 29 states, governorship election will be taking place. Okay. While in 36 states, the State House of Assembly election will be taking place on Saturday. Okay. Now, INEC insists that the smart card reader will be used. Do you think this technology is helping in strengthening the electoral process in this country?
Definitely. There's no gainsaying that, definitely. In fact, if you watch the trajectory of elections in the time past, when we were not using card readers from 1999 to 2011, before we commenced the card reader experiment in 2015, you see that the number of votes have pruned down a bit. Number of votes in the sense that we had numbers that were clearly toxic in those days because of this arbitrary voting pattern. Then you could not, the election was manual, so it gave room for a lot of imposters to come and vote, and it gave room for persons who were not registered to come and vote, and of course, a lot of malpractices, irregularities, the so-called rigging we're talking about was all in the air. It was like another of the day. But with the smart card reader, which, if functional, if properly used and functional, can detect fake PVCs, as we call them, takes care of biometrics. It will ensure that Mr. Adam, having that card, is Mr. Adam really not an impostor. So the era of people buying PVCs to come and vote, distribute to their friends, or bringing people from state A to come and vote in state B, this cannot be done through a proper smart card accreditation because it's electronic. Electronic, just where you cannot use your ATM if you don't have the PIN. I cannot use your ATM. I cannot use your PVC to vote. I cannot come to the polling where I'm not registered to vote. When it is manual, anything goes because it's just a document anybody can erase or sign and countersign all that. Even when they use the so-called incident form, it's the same thing. So the smart card reader is a stopgap measure towards full electronic voting. So as a country that is not yet into electronic voting because our laws do not even support it, even this card reader thing, it's just there in the regulation, and it's now we're trying to amend the Electoral Act to accommodate the card reader for now. But it appears that it's a consensus that it should be used for now because the Electoral Act was not properly completely amended, as it were, has given us a liberty to use it. So the card reader must be used at all elections. Because if we don't start using it from 2015, it's 2019. We don't use it now because we're hoping that by 2023 we'll go full-scale electronic. So it is the best way to...
That's another issue.
That was discussed on this program. Because if card reader was 2015, if after 8 years we cannot go beyond card reader, then means you're not developing. So this is the election that carried that ought to have been totally used, properly used. So the hue and cry about it not being properly used in the last election is most unfortunate, because that election ought to have been a test mark. But again, we still have an opportunity in the governorship.
On Saturday.
But the use really,
Okay.
because like I said, it's the best way to streamline and reduce the incidence of irregularities at the especially issue of accreditation. That's the first place rigging starts. If people who want to vote are allowed to vote, who are not supposed to vote, their people are stolen. They can go and operate anywhere, and you have numbers that you cannot account for. So I think that's,
Okay.
that's the first
Thank
thing.
you. Pastor Jimmy, are you comfortable? Are you impressed with the outcome of the smart card reader in our electoral process?
Well, at ceteris paribus, as
Okay.
the economists would say,
Yes.
all things being equal,
Okay.
the smart card is supposed to cure all those defects.
Okay.
It's just like your mobile phone.
Yes.
You give a command, it obeys. I want to send you a message, it goes.
Okay.
If everything works well, the smart card is a perfect, approach to having a credible election.
Okay.
But my fears are numerous. Number one, sometimes they bring out the smart card. It has not, the smart card reader is not even charged. It's blind. You can't open it. Sometimes the card that was issued by INEC itself is unidentifiable by the smart card reader. So what I'm worried about is, if you are a genuine voter who got your PVC, normally from INEC, and the smart card rejects your card, it will not be nice for you to be disenfranchised because of the fault of INEC. So in a situation like that, if your photograph on the smart card is the same on the register of INEC, such a voter should be allowed to vote. You understand? But in the end, those who were allowed to vote because the smart card malfunctioned, the figure should tally with those who voted with the smart card. So that you don't have a situation like a lot of nebulous results that came out recently, where the number of accredited voters, the numbers don't just add up. So it doesn't make even arithmetic sense, not talk of mathematics. So those are the areas that we need to look into. And another thing that we should do is that the INEC, in accordance with the Electoral Act, they should allow the agents who are there, to identify, to have a peep at the PVC and look at the face of the holder. So if the smart card reader rejects a PVC, the agent should be sure that the person holding it is really the owner of the smart card. These are some of the issues. Otherwise, where they say we are still developing, but those that got independence after us have gone past this stage. In other climes, you can sit in the comfort of your room and you cast your vote, or you go quietly and do your thing. The electronic system is there to calculate. But above all this, I will make a passionate appeal to INEC to refuse to be compromised. Why will agents and coalition officers of different parties be running helter-skelter, running from pillar to post, trying to follow the result to a particular position? Is because of lack of trust. So if the INEC officials will do the right thing, in fact they will be doing this country a great deal of service. Let them record the right number and release the right figure. Everybody will applaud them because they need a lot of support from the public. That's the
Thank you. Yes, Badimo, you are into politics. You've been there. You've seen it. You're a former chairman of the local government. So you know the nitty-gritty of what we're talking about. Do you think smart reader has helped us? Has helped the electoral process?
It did to an extent.
Okay.
But I wish we have a total electronic voting system that they have in other countries. I hope and pray that in 2023 that we have a total electronic system. You see, like in the advanced world, when they are voting, they don't wait until it's collated and everything. Everybody knows the result because it's electronically calculated. Anybody when you call who is leading on social, they'll tell you so vote is a percentage in, on social percentage this person had this, but everybody across the board, all political parties know. So it's not one INEC knowing and the other people are waiting and later they will find out. You know, I just pray that Nigeria do the right thing, so that, you know, we save life, we save property, we save, you know, we save our face from the world. You know, right now, you know, you hear American President Trump saying that Nigerian president was a sham, that he cheated. That is what he said on television. So I saw it on Facebook. Right. You know, but that is a shame to us.
Some of these comments we cannot verify.
Listen, even if he directed to the president, he directed that the whole country, you and I, when we go any other place, we are Nigeria, we cannot share, we cannot refuse where we come from. You know, that stigma is attached to you and I and our children. And, you know, we are trying so hard in this country. Why it's only a few hundred people that is bad? They make it look like the whole Nigeria is rotten. You know, this stigma is following us. If we do the right thing, let's make electronic vote. And let it be open. All these questions of saying you were bribed, I was bribed, will not come in. If every party knows what the count is at X amount of time, you know, that will eliminate all this. In America, when you vote, when you live there, it's electronically calculated immediately. You understand? If you go on to their site, you know how many votes your party has. You don't have, you know, any time. We could do that in Nigeria. It's not, Nigeria is so great. This is the largest black population in the world. Yeah. Black people are being stigmatized. Anything the black people do, the black race do, is not successful. Because if you have, they say if you walk like a snake, you look like a snake, is a snake. You have the largest black population, civilization on the world. We can't hold a common election that people will not die, and at the end there will be people, everybody going to court. You understand? If we have the total electronic system, there's no people going to court. You go to court, but before you go to court, you know that when you go to court, the same result is what you're going to get in court. Yeah. So you have the right to go to court if you want to. Everybody has the right to sue. Not because you really feel cheated. You understand? People going about, I really won, and then you are not there. In the advanced world, you know who really won. Even if you go to court, that is the same thing you're going to get, so you don't need to go to court. So please, I beg those in position to change this. We still have 4 more years. This could be done in less than a year. Now, as soon as this Saturday election is over, why don't we start planning for the next one? And how we could fix all this mishap that is happening in our election, and that is giving our country a bad name. Wearing us the clothes that don't belong to us. It's not right. You know. Okay, now this issue of electronic voting that we're talking about, we know that it's not applicable for Saturday, but let's take a quick look at that. Barrister Joe, Dr. Joe rather. Yeah. Now, the Constitution of Nigeria does not support that. So how do we start the process?
Okay, thank you. Well, it's all about the idea of electoral reforms, really. Okay. Electoral reforms starts by amending the basic laws of our land. But actually, the Constitution does not actually address elections, really. It's the Electoral Act. Yes. And you recall that there was this hue and cry by the President not assent to the Electoral Act as amended, you know, which will have been used for this election. Of course, I think I had the opportunity of discussing that here with some of my colleagues on the issue of the propriety or otherwise of the President withdrawing his assent and all that. But we know that in that Electoral Act, there was a proposal for, I think, the first amendment that passed for electronic voting. Actually, it was there. It was there. And don't forget that sometimes I don't know, I couldn't verify it myself, but people are journalists. But I understand that in Kaduna State it was used, yes. And that also local government election, and that also enabled the. But let's not go far. The NBA election that brought the NBA president. We understand that electronic voting. Was this successful? You are a lawyer. Was this successful or was it criticized? That's a serious one, though. Now you are really putting me on the spot. Thank God my friend is here to bail me out. Okay. Well, the truth, yes. NBA election, we have gone electronic twice. The first one that produced the immediate past president was Lege from Edo State, and the one that produced Mahmoud, and the one that, so about 3 elections really have been electronically promoted. Okay. And let me start by saying that the ease, like he rightly said, Bajimo said, yes. The ease of the election, you can vote from the comfort of your house. It's easily verifiable. Okay. And of course, it's to some extent authentic. And so you really have no physical contact, no violence, no shuffle, all those stuff. So it makes it a seamless process. But again, you know, it's a process we are not used to this country actually. We are getting to get close to it. Yeah. But so you see that for the NBA, I'm sure my colleague will bear me out, we've had issues too. And one of the greatest issues is this issue of hacking and compromising the site. As I speak to you now, the election that produced our current president is subject to judicial review by way of a court action because the party that lost didn't believe that they lost fairly because they said even the site that was used for that election from my accreditation process was hacked or manned by some persons who were loyal to the current president. To the extent that if you went to vote, because during what they call accreditation process, you have to send your profile to the site, and then they will send you what's like a pass or a pin. Yeah. It's that pass or pin that you used to go and log in and vote. The allegation that only those who they were sure will vote for them. Some areas, like you see in the physical election, where the area that's a party A stronghold, they will not bring materials there. They bring materials maybe at about 6 p.m. or when they bring, they come and destroy the ballot papers. So even in the electronic model, allegedly now, that's it's saying that even those who have voted for candidate B in the MB election, that they were denied the access to the site.
So the electronic voting is not a perfect.
It's not perfect. Nothing is perfect really, except God has known. Nothing is perfect. But we know that the electronic voting, like I said, is seamless. So the incidence of malpractice irregularities will be reduced. And that means those who operate it are, first, they are professionals. Okay. They must know their onions. You must have an enabling law that backs it up, and they must have safety valves, like what we call control mechanism. Yeah. It's not left. If an NEC is going to go to electronic voting, it's not going to be an NEC itself. You must have an ICT base. Expert will do that. And I know Nigerians are very good in ICT. We have Nigerians working abroad. All those negative things that Nigerians use in the ICT, because of the software and else, they can be brought to bear. Bring out the positive. So we have brains that can do it. Okay. You need to bring foreigners to come and man our ICT because
you subscribe to electronic voting.
Definitely, like I said.
About the electoral
act has to be amended
must be signed.
I hope the president, now that the election is over, you'll see that the first assignment for the National Assembly to ensure that electoral act that was kept in abeyance for whatever reason is now dusted up and enacted properly, so that we can have electronic voting as part of the provisions there.
Thank you. Pastor Jimmy. Yes, you believe what Dr. Job is saying?
Yes,
that we should really go into this electronic voting?
Yes, because you know, the advantages are numerous. Okay. I think they are more than the disadvantages. Okay. You know, the Chinese say that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. Yes. I think we better get started. Okay. You know, when you get started, you know, along the line, you identify the defect, then you make a deliberate effort to make corrections. You know, in electronic voting, as you vote, there's a site that the people can go to and they see the results as they come in. So it is difficult to manipulate, you know, the result at the end point where the final collation will be done, even though it's also going to be electronic. You know, for instance, there are so many incidents that happen during the election in different parts of the country. Yeah. Even this one that we are going on Saturday, there are so many videos that have gone viral. You know, that is electronic. So you cannot hide figures from the people. So as you do that, others have ability, I mean, they have access to see what is going on. So I believe that that is going to be the final solution to all these electoral malpractices and the rest of them. And when you do electronic voting, you don't shut down the economy, because people will go to the police station at designated areas. Those who cannot do it from the comfort of their room, maybe they don't have access to, you know, computers and internet, you know, they can go. You don't shut down the economy because you know how much Nigeria lost. Nigeria is going to lose this weekend. Okay. You know, those are the endpoint advantages that we will stand to derive. So we should look at it holistically, and then, you know, encourage whoever is at the helm of affairs to sign, you know, all these acts. Let them append their signatures so that things will change. We need to transmit ourselves, so to say, from the era where everything is done manually. You know, before the cell phone came to Nigeria, except you have been abroad, you didn't have access to this. Yeah. Those days you have to go and queue in night. Exactly. Sometimes you book appointment overnight, and they give you only 3 minutes to talk. Yeah. You know, but it came, and you see how it's working, making life better for the people. Okay, thank you, Pastor Jimmy.
Bajuma has already advocated electronic voting, but we've just identified these problems of hacking. Don't you think it will also affect it?
It may, because if in an election like this, they have to get experts. That will be the firewall, so that it won't be so easy to hack. Okay. It's not something like your computer or my laptop that they're going to hack. Look, put it, for example, the bank. You know, if it's easy to hack the, what you call it, the ATM, Nigeria would have stopped ATM already. Of course, it's possible to hack the ATM, but before they make it, before they put it up for everybody to use, there's a firewall system that they build around that makes it harder, if not impossible, to hack it. So it's also possible for INEC to use those technology like the bank use to protect the election so that it is not easily hacked. You know, of course, if somebody want to hack my laptop, I'm here. They could hack it from the comfort of their bedroom. But if it's easy to hack the ATM, the bank in Nigeria would have been shut up or shut down already. You know, so it's possible for it to be made difficult for them to hack. But we have to take that extra step because it's what the country needs to grow. It's what the country needs to develop. This is how the country is looked upon. This is how the outside will judge us. We should take it very seriously and do everything within our possible to see that in the next election, 2023, 2023, so that there will be totally electronic voting. People could vote from the comfort of their house. People that can't come, those that are sick, will be able to vote. You know, there are people, those that travel, that can't make it over, will be able to vote. And besides, like my colleague just said, that the system of having to shut down the economy. I remember when in America, when people want to vote, everybody go to work. People go to schools. Only the schools that are going to be used are not, people will not go. Most of the time, they use other places like what you call it? Post office, fire department, and all that, so that everybody go about their business. When you finish in your business, you go to vote. It's open to around 8, in some places till 10, you know, depending on the state. You know, like this one, everybody shut down. You can't even move. You know, see the disadvantage. Assuming you, like, that is what is happening to me.
Yes.
My family live with no permission. I registered no permission.
Okay.
But now I live in GRA. I have to leave home or sleep my family's house in order to be able to vote. Because I will not be able to drive from GRA to permission. Once it's 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock to say I want to go vote. They have police everywhere that won't listen to you. I don't want to be manhandled or disrespected. So, you know, if they say let it without a cast the first stone. I'm a politician. I cannot go start telling police I'm a politician. I want to leave to go vote. So I will either go sleep in my family house or I'll leave before 6 and stay in my family's house and walk from there to vote. You see, that is for me. A lot of people have the same issues. Whereas if it's electronic voting and it's properly monitored, people will go about their business. When they finish voting, they have other things to do. Look, and apart from that, there are burials, there are funerals, all the people that are associated with those businesses.
Social events.
Yeah, social events. The caterers, the musicians, everybody go out of business because there's an election. It's not right. People coming to the country, foreigners wanting to do business to our country, cannot do it. Other people choose to go to other countries. We are losing so much. Nigeria has come a long way. You have the best brains in the world. I've said this in this program before. And from Nigeria, there are other countries that are benefiting from. Like you just said, let's bring those brains home and let them work for us. Let's make it possible for our people to start coming home. You see, a lot of people want to come. Honestly, when I'm in America, I come home to vote. A lot of people are scared to come because of violence, because they don't want to stay in the land and something happen. But if they could vote from the comfort of their home, even in America, if you're in the military, anywhere you are in the world, you could vote. You could vote from Nigeria in America election if you are a citizen. We should make it possible for our citizens to be able to make, vote and have an easy life. It will benefit all of us. Even the government, they say, it will benefit them.
Thank you, Jim. I can see you're so passionate about that. Well, after Saturday's election, my guests have the opinion that INEC should review the electoral process, and postulate some possibilities that can make the electoral process more comfortable, more interesting, more successful, and more realistic as well. Okay, now, Saturday, governorship election in 29 states, 36 states will witness House of Assembly election. Dr. Joe, let's come back to you. Are you expecting any upset? In Rivers, the incumbent is there seeking a second term. Governor Wike, Kano State, Ganduje is there seeking a second term. Things like that. Are you expecting any upset in the governorship election?
Well, let me say that in Nigerian electoral history, I've never really heard of an upset for governorship.
Okay.
Save for the ones we saw in the senatorial and all that.
Yes.
Governors are very powerful people. They have a way, especially the incumbents, they have a way of doing their elections,
Yes,
really. It's not
in
really,
Gombe, the governor lost senatorial seat.
okay, that's outgoing governor.
Outgoing governor lost, you know.
But like I said, this is a season of change, really, or upset as well. But I don't think there's going to be any major upset in the recent, because for the sitting governors who are coming back, except those who have performed abysmally, which we can't really assess because we're not from those states. But I don't think that they will lose out if in a free and fair election. I don't think so. Except those that have performed abysmally as are judged by the electorate. Okay. Otherwise, you see that in the 29 states that they're talking about now, where you have incumbents, I don't know how many states have incumbents, where you have incumbents coming back as it were, you can be sure that especially about 80% of them will come back. But where you have newcomers like Imo State, where you have two different parties now, three bringing new candidates, and then you can be sure that
of another party.
So if anybody wins there, it will be an upset, because whether you are in a big party or a small party, or in the case like Lagos, where you have two new candidates because the incumbent governor was not given a second term or a second option to contest. So you won't say an upset really, because both parties there are evenly matched. But they say like Kano, where you have a candidate that posted 1 million votes for more for the president, you don't expect him to lose that election. If he loses, then you say it's an offset. And of course, you see him cry to the heavens, and he will allege rigging and all that. Or a state like Katsina too, where you have the president's cousin in the center of six, so you're going to upset him there. So there are some pragmatics we really have to look at that. It will be very difficult. But we can have offsets in the House of Assembly and the other, because these are not executive arm of government. And of course, their role is purely lawmaking and the rest. So they may not have, some may have been very astute in terms of lawmaking, policy formulation, but didn't do well in constituency projects. People want to see physical things on ground. Forget that the lawmaker is not supposed to even be involved in all those projects. If our constituent properly manned, it's not supposed to be talking about giving you borehole, giving you market. It's going to make laws and policy. Okay, I influence the policy. University is brought to this state because of my policy, or how this market because of my policy, not because I wanted a contract. But our people may not see that, because our political culture is still very artist. We're not fully developed. I won't say embraced. So they may not appreciate. So a man who appears to have been asked to speaking of the grammar on the floor of the house may lose. And it is an offset. It may not be because people don't believe that he was there to go on oratory was not what he was sent to do there. They want to see the physical structure. He may have been sitting in the committees, working seriously, budget committee, health committee. You don't see him in the committee. That was somewhere I stood, but I said, don't judge the lawmaker because you don't see him on TV moving motion. And no, he can be in the committee stage doing his work seriously. Somebody like me, researcher. Now, if I'm in the House of Assembly, you may not be seeing me. I'll be doing all the research in the library. You think I'm not working? So if I lose the election because I'm an incumbent, it's not because it's an offset. Like, people have said I should come by. They don't want me to go and speak grammar. So the offset thing is going to be relative. But what we insist that, like they have observed, that the election should be free and fair. And those who have done the work, in terms of campaigning seriously, vigorously, who have made themselves accessible to the commoners. This is a grassroots politics election. Those who are close to the commoners or the electorate, are those that go there. Not those who have been so detached from the electorate, who were not coming home, no visible presence in terms of the House of Assembly. Even the governors too. The governors who spend most of the time at Abuja, you know, not doing anything, no viable project. You can't expect them to come back. At least if the votes will count. That is why I said the offset thing.
INEC has assured that the votes will always count. Okay, Pastor Jimmy. Now, we'll see what happened in the presidential National Assembly. Some very notable senators, members of the House of Assembly, they are not returning. And just like a wrestling contest, it's an offset.
It is.
Now, in the governorship, some incumbents are seeking re-election. In Kaduna State, the governor is seeking re-election. Kogi State is there. Rivers, you know, so many states. Now, are you looking at possibility of offsets?
Well, to be frank, I expect not one or two, but more upsets. You see, this is a time of reckoning. There are, you see, the people, the downtrodden people, you know, who go out to vote, many of them are disenchanted. Over time, after the voting, you know, there are some of these people who are there right now that the people don't see again. Especially, you know, those who probably monetize their election. We are all aware of that. You know, without calling names, we are aware that, you know, vote buying is still going on in Nigeria. So those who bought their votes 4 years ago, you know, they didn't have the obligation to see the people again, that's constituency, because they believe that they have bought it. But I believe that that's the greatest disservice that any politician can do to his people. Okay. So if you are a politician, I'm a politician. Okay. If you are a politician and you are not into, just like Doctor said, you are not in touch with the constituency, you don't know the needs of your people. You are not able to impact positively. I'm not even talking about constituency projects now. Okay. You know, for example, as a legislator, you should scrutinize the budget, especially as it affects your constituency, see what the government is going to do. So if you just sit down there and you are doing nothing, you'll be there, the government will be repairing roads from good roads, and you don't have road to pass in your constituency. So, like I said earlier on, this is a revolt at the ballot polls. What happened the last time that makes us be talking about upset is going to repeat itself again, because the people are waiting. Yeah. They are waiting to pay you back. I believe that's a wonderful development for Nigeria politics. Okay. You know, yeah. So if you are there and you know, nobody can do you nothing, just like they tried to recall Dino Melaye, even though that process failed, the people will wait for you after 4 years. Yeah. You know, like the Benin will say, you know, before you know it, 4 years, if we don't leave this studio on time, 4 years will meet us here. So I'm expecting a lot of us. I just pray by the grace of God that, you know, the officials who are involved, the security, the INEC, the ad hoc staff, let them do their best. Okay. Let the spirit of excellence come upon their life that day and do exactly the right thing. You'll see a lot of upset. A lot of upset.
Because that's the interesting part of election, really. Yeah. Yeah. Now, in democracy, Amapi Dagbajumo has lived outside the shores of Nigeria, in the US precisely, for years, and understands democracy very well. Yes, US is the home of democracy. It is. Now, the voters are supposed to determine who governs them. Yes. Like Pastor Jimmy has said, if an elected public officer is not in touch with his constituents, all they need to wait is just wait for 4 years, and they take a decision through the ballot. Yes. So are you expecting upsets this Saturday? Yes. Governorship or otherwise? Yes. Both in governorship and in the House of Assembly. Yes. You know, over the country. Okay. I believe there's going to be some upsets. Because you see, Nigerians are now well enlightened about elections. You know, and they are waiting. You see people before, they'll say whether they vote or not, it doesn't count. Now we know it counts. It counts. A vote could make a difference. And people are going to go there to vote. And we are praying to God, those people that think they could snatch ballot boxes to change the results or the will of the people, not to do so. Okay. And we are praying for God to touch the heart of the law enforcement. Okay. To do the right thing. Okay. Their job is law enforcement, to make sure that the right thing happens. Okay. Not to support any political parties. If this happens, and let INEC, we believe, people are saying, we all believe that INEC will do the right thing. Yeah. And we pray that God touch everybody in INEC hearts, let them do the right thing. There's going to be a lot of upsets. There's going to be a lot of upsets. Okay. You know, we are waiting. The kind of tension in the presidential, we may not have that kind of tension. No. Because, you know, this is various states. Okay. You know, presidential is all the country came together, and everybody trying to choose who's going to be president. This one is various states. And this is grassroots election. This one has been there. He never visited his ward. He never did this. He never helped anybody. So we are waiting for him to come. And now he come and said, it happened in, I think it was in London. Indian politician went over there. When he was going to vote, he came to London and pleaded for people to come vote for him. And the next time he came to London, he got beaten up on the street. Yeah, I think I saw that. They really whipped him on the street. So last time, some of us traveled from London to India to come vote for you because you came and told us who won here. And now you are coming back again in 4 years. And he was beaten up. You know, in Nigeria, we cannot beat up the politicians. But we could whip them and beat them in the ballot with the ballot boxes. And a lot is expected this time. All over the country. Yes, it's going to happen. Okay, that's the interesting part because it's a contest. And you, the voter, you have the power to elect, to make changes where necessary, and to ensure continuity where necessary as well. Okay, like we said, the kind of tension that greeted the Presidential National Assembly definitely will not be there on Saturday. We noticed a large turnout of voters. Dr. Job, are you expecting that kind of turnout again this time around?
Like I said in my first opening remark, there may be slight voter apathy.
How do you mean?
Let's not discount that. because the big one, the presidential election has come and gone. Like I said, that is the epoch-making election. A lot of people were concerned about what happened at the federal. Why? Because of the skewed nature of our federalism. You know, everything comes from the top, Abuja. So the president is all powerful, all willing and all that. So everybody was focused on that. But this election is state-driven, constant. You see, some persons who are not ordinarily from this Edo State, for example, now, who are businessmen or who, for any reason, are here. If they don't travel home to vote, they will just go, well, after I'm a tenant here, my interest is not as strong as that of a religion. So you see that when you are going to a ward to vote or polling to vote, you see that most people there will be persons ordinarily from that polling unit. So and then the other fear is that because some people believe, rightly or wrong, that their vote didn't count last of the people are complaining and somebody's in the tribunal. So if they feel that their vote didn't count, they may not want to come again. That is why we still have a duty, at least within our next 48 hours, to keep, you know, preaching the message that come out and vote. Because this one is the grassroots. So we even expect to have a higher turnout than we did. That is the odds now.
Yes.
But in realism, if you ask me, I believe that it may not be as massive. Massive in relative, because even look at the turnout. The people voted on Saturday, 23rd, it's up to 20% of those who registered. So it's still a poor turnout for the election of presidential election. So a very poor turnout. You see a state like Lagos with 4.something million or 5 million, just 1 million people voted. Even Canada, where they brought the humongous vote, the number of voters there is it's not up to 2 million. In the state that had up to about 5 million voters. So you can just imagine. So the threshold is, how do we increase voter participation across all elections, not really presidential election. So something that has to be worked on towards 2023. So we have more voter involvement. And that is why this electronic voting mantra that we are discussing in our nation is very important. Because a lot of people keen to voting. Some people register just to have the PVC for documentary people to be able to access their account in the bank and people to retain their jobs. So people were threatening to have PVC and don't have national passport. So they didn't go for it because they wanted to vote. And if you give them the slightest excuse, like insecurity, votes not count, not being counted or not being decisive, you may have a low turnout.
Okay, Pastor Jimmy, are you expecting this kind of turnout? Maybe increase in turnout on Saturday?
Well, I think the turnouts, there will be reduction in the number of people, but the astute politicians, after the last election on 23rd, have gone back to their base, you know, encouraging people to come out and letting them know, because there's a lot of apathy amongst the voters. You know, you are going to meet some voters who will say, oh, I thought that was all. You know, they need constant reminder that they need to do more. After all, this is the one that even affects them more than the one of 23rd, because the immediate representative from the local constituencies, they are going to be voted into the House of Assembly. But I think the people will come out. But the most important thing is for the process to be free, to be fair. It should be credible, not just in words, but it should be seen to be so. I believe that they will come out. Even this program is an enlightenment program. I'm sure a lot of people are watching. Some of them will be reminded now that they need to come out again on Saturday. So we expect that.
Thank you, Pastor Jimmy. Majumo Morogeva, what are your expectations for this Saturday? You think people will turn out to participate?
I don't think much. It will not be as much as the presidential. But the truth is that there will be more people willing to come out and vote. Because, you know, like I said, this is the grassroots election. You know, people may never see the president in person before. But you cannot say you've not seen your House of Assembly member or your governor. You know, this is grassroots. These are people you deal with. Most people go to the house, to the House of Assembly to see their legislators. Others, the legislators sometimes come to the ward or to their various places and even help people in their various places. So people relate more with their legislators than they relate. It's just that the presidency, everybody wants to be the one that choose the president. But this one is a little different, slightly different. But this one is more personal because you know who you are voting for. And the person may know you too. When you speak about a member of House of Assembly, in every local government, you know, when you tell people, 5 or 6 people know the person, or they met him in one location or one function or another, unlike the presidency. So this, we just hope that people will come out, and the thing that we are actually begging is that let the people's vote count. Don't distort the people's vote, and let people not come out and try to distort people or stop people from voting. And let them not start carrying, but we are bigger than that. We are bigger than that. We are not animals. So let the people's vote count. People are coming, begging the people to come out and vote. And when they vote, please let it count. And we tell the INEC to make sure that the vote counts. Yeah. It's very important.
Yeah, I think INEC has already given assurance that the votes will count. Your parting words, Dr. Job, on the program.
Okay, thank you very much. Saturday is the last phase in our electoral process for this year.
Yes.
We hope that, like we have already admonished, the stakeholders should do their best. INEC must up its ante and improve on all the loopholes observed in the previous election. Security agencies must remain neutral, political, and protect voters and protect the votes too, not to distort the votes. And of course, the political parties, like I said, it's a gentleman's game, so they do that affair. Especially at this level, it's grassroots. We are all brothers and sisters. You see it in that spirit, and of course, go for it.
Thank you. Parting words, Pastor Jimmy.
I encourage everybody to come out to vote. Those who have PVC, they should ignore the money muggers, the money bags. If you must collect the money, if it becomes indispensable to collect the money, make sure nobody sees whom you are voting for. When you do that, your vote will count. So I also want the law enforcement officers to up their ante this time around and do their best, and we shall applaud them if it's credible. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use the opportunity to tell people to please come out and vote.
Okay.
It doesn't matter who you vote for. Vote your conscience, not your fear. Vote who you believe is going to do the right thing. It doesn't matter which party. Vote your conscience, the person that you believe will help your constituency. And may God help us all.
Thank you very much. My guest, I want to thank you for being a part of today's program. Very enlightening, very incisive, and I believe our viewer out there, you've enjoyed every bit of today's program, 60 Minutes Nigeria. If you enjoyed the program, keep a date with me, God willing. By God's grace, next Thursday we'll be here again with a different set of guests, and we'll be looking at other issues. But don't forget, be a true citizen. Shun cash inducement during the election. Don't give and don't take. Believe in INEC that your vote will count. Come out en masse and be a part of the development of this country. My name is Egosa Agbonlao, signing off on today's program, 60 Minutes Nigeria. Bye-bye.
Yeah.